Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayavata Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Ahameva Samevagre Nanyat Sat Asat Param Pashadaham Yad Etacha Yo Vishashet So Asmi Aham. The Supreme Lord is revealing about his spiritual and material form both. This was the first question of Lord Brahma when he inquired, and the Lord answers here. So we discussed for almost 3 days this verse, that how the Supreme Lord is the cause of all. He is also the cause of Brahma, from whom the material creation takes place. Manoram Prabhu was to present, but he had some technical problem with his machine, so he could not complete. He may present tomorrow, but we have opportunity. Should I go to the next verse, or you want to discuss, or you want to contribute for this verse? I feel all of us should, all of you should at least speak. What is your understanding on this verse? The essential Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is presented here in this 4 verses, 33rd, 34th, 35th and 36th. We'll cover the other 2 also, other 3 also. But this is the most important verse. So who would like to begin? What is the understanding, or what is the discovery from this verse, where the Supreme Lord is speaking to Brahmaji? Begin clockwise. On my screen, I see first Ravinder Prabhu and Priyanka Mataji. Ravinder, अभी कहाँ पे हैं आप लोग?
वो जी बरहमपुर में है, कल सुबह इधर से निकले हैं।
अच्छा, कल आपका ट्रेन है?
हाँ, सुबह जाएंगे यहाँ से पूरी।
अच्छा, ओके, बोलिए। इस श्लोक से भगवान ने क्या क्या स्थापित किया? आपने क्या इसको समझा, क्या स्वीकार किया? How this verse gives us better understanding of how Krishna is the cause of all causes. बोलिए जो भी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
हरे कृष्णा.
This verse speaks about how Krishna is the Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, and also this sloka speaks about how material world is temporary and the spiritual world is eternal. And Krishna speaks, I will be there in past, present, and future. And also this verse speaks about the Jnanam, and Krishna speaks about Jnanam. And by practice of devotional service, we comes to know about the Vijnana. And in this verse also it was discussed that Krishna was eternally stayed at the spiritual world with his eternal associates and performing the eternal pastimes.
ओके. प्रियंका, आपने जितना भी सुना.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, he revealed himself, और वो बता रहे हैं कि that it is me only exist before the creation. और वो
When you
spiritual
say creation, creation means material.
material creation.
Material creation, this universe, this world.
And he is the only creator and predominator also. And he is the absolute truth.
ओके. प्रभुपाद जी का इतना लंबा तात्पर्य था, 2 दिन में हमने पढ़ा. उससे कुछ बताइए.
प्रभुपाद ने बताया कि आई के बारे में, कि एक तो है कि क्रिएटर आई एंड दूसरा है क्रिएटेड आई, जो कि ब्रह्मा जी, ही इज आल्सो द सोर्स ऑफ सुप्रीम लॉर्ड. देन इन
One minute,
पर्पस,
1 minute. He is also the source of Supreme Lord. Who?
मतलब कि ब्रह्मा जी आए हैं सुप्रीम लॉर्ड से.
अच्छा.
और इम्पर्सनलिस्ट के बारे में प्रभुपाद जी परपोर्ट में बता रहे हैं कि जो इम्पर्सनलिस्ट को रिफ्यूट कर रहे हैं.
इम्पर्सनलिस्ट का क्या ओपिनियन है?
उनका
प्रभुपाद
ओपिनियन, यस, उनका वननेस यानी कि मर्ज हो जाना, ब्रह्मा में मर्ज हो जाना.
ना, इसमें तो मर्जिंग की कोई बात हुई नहीं, इसमें डिस्कशन नहीं हुआ. What is this principle of oneness which was discussed here? What is the principle of I?
यहाँ पे प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आई था कि अहम ब्रह्मास्मि.
What is the opinion of impersonalists and what is the reality?
The reality is the Supreme Lord has the form.
Yes. और पूरा डिटेल में बताइए. Who will explain the principle of I? As we discussed in such detail, Prabhupada is explaining. मनोराम प्रभु, आप एक्सप्लेन करो, आपने तो प्रिपेयर किया है.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, धन्यवाद प्रभु.
हरे
Prabhuji, sorry, actually, lastly I could trace it with some software, so I got
अच्छा
the
अभी
file.
है तो ठीक है, तो फिर आप प्रेजेंट
Yeah,
करो.
yeah.
Nothing like.
Lastly, yes, Prabhuji. So maybe one or two slides I wanted, but somehow it was not added. But I'll try to present Prabhuji whatever
Okay,
I
fine.
prepared.
So
Yes.
Manoram Prabhu is going to present it. Very good. He is going to present this very important verse. Go ahead.
Yes. Let's see. Prabhuji, my PPT is
Yeah,
well.
yeah. It is presentable. It is visible. Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much, Prabhuji, and Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees. So here I was assigned to present this particular verse, verse number 2.933, and what are the different understanding from this verse. So just to proceed, we have seen this verse. This was aham evasam evagre na anyat yasat asat param paschat aham yat etat cho yo avasishet so asmi aham. So here actually from this verse, what are the different discoveries? Actually three different understanding what I noted down. So first discovery is that from this verse we can understand that when and how actually Lord Krishna gave the transcendental knowledge to Lord Brahma. And the second discovery is it is basically the answer of Lord Brahma's question that he asked. So that we'll see in next verses. And third, also from this particular verse, we know about the characteristics of the spiritual world and also about the sambandh with Lord Krishna. So these three different types of understanding from this verse we'll get. So just to proceed, first about first discovery was that how in first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto we have seen that Krishna he gave this knowledge to Lord Brahma, and here also we could find a trace that where and how actually he spoke that transcendental knowledge to Lord Brahma. So here actually mm, it starts with Aham eva sam eva gananat yat sat asat param. So these are actually related. This particular verse is related in a that it was the Supreme Lord who existed and no one else actually, including Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, no one existing. And when Lord Brahma was created, so it is the Supreme Lord who actually imparted the knowledge to Lord Brahma. And this there are the connections that we find how and when actually Supreme Lord spoke. So the verses 2.915 and 2.923 we see that when the Lord Brahma was actually he came out from the lotus flower, lotus stem from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and he was undergoing truth. And what was the reason also that we have seen that there was some sound that tapa tapa was coming out, and he was searching that where from this transcendental sound is coming, and actually he performed the penances, and he could see in the Vaikuntha planets the four-handed form of Lord Vishnu, and here actually in that way the Supreme Lord he imparted knowledge to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma he was inquiring from the Supreme Lord how to proceed with creation, and this knowledge actually, so this the first understanding that how it was like tene brahma rida ya adi kavaye. So this part would find a link here that how the Supreme Lord spoke. So this was the condition that first Lord Brahma came out from the lotus flower. He was not finding out anyone why, but he could hear the transcendental sound of tapa tapa, and then he could find the Supreme Lord in his four-ended form, Vaikuntha planet, and the conversation started. And Lord Vishnu then he gave the knowledge to Lord Brahma. So this is the first part about how it was done. And second part is basically this particular verse is the answer of Lord Brahma's question that Lord Brahma he asked in 2.9.26, that how in spite of Krishna having transcendental form, he assumes the mundane form, that is the material form. So here actually the detailed understanding will see through, as it was discussed through the verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 1.53. So here we'll see in detail. Uh, so three parts again in this question we'll see in three different sections. So first, before creation also Lord Krishna is there, Supreme Personality, and after the creation takes place, again he is there to sustain. Also after the annihilation, he is the Supreme Person who exists. So in detail, just to proceed, so every terms was mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 1.53. Aham, what does aham means in this particular verse? Aham means I. Uh, actually, that I is the speaker, the Supreme Lord himself, Supreme Lord. So Aham, when spoken by Krishna, refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and nothing else. So this was expressed in that verse. And also before and after material creation, only Lord Vishnu he exists. Uh, it was also explained. So before and creation, after dissolution, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his associates, they will exist. There is no existence of the material elements. So that part is spoken here. Na anyat yat sat asat param. This part was explained. And again, in that particular verse, it was discussed. Vasudeva va idam agra asin na brahma nacho Shankaraha, meaning before that creation there was no existence of Brahma, Shiva, only the Vishnu he existed. So Vishnu exists in his abode, the Vaikunthas. So there was also a clarification that when the material creation does not takes place, so the Vaikuntha planets they will exist, and the Supreme Lord and his incarnations in different Vaikuntha planets they will be there. Yeah, there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky, and one each of them in every Vaikuntha planets, Vishnu he will resides with his associates and his paraphernalia. So this part also explained. Although the this material creation, periodically it is dissolved, but there is no destruction of the Vaikuntha planets or the spiritual planets. So again, some of the other terms that were explained, Sat, Asat, and Param. What are the explanations? Sat means the effect, and Asat means cause, and Param refers to ultimate truth. So the explanation is that the cause of the creation is called Mahat Tattva, total material energy, and its effect is the creation itself. So neither cause nor effect existed in the beginning. They emanate from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as did the energy of time. So this Sat, Asat, and Param has been explained here. What are the terms? And Paschat Aham, these terms means that indicate the Lord exists after the dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. And also in the creation, the Lord, He exists. When the creation takes, He exists in the Vaikuntha planets, and also He exists as the super soul within the material universe. So that is from that Chaitamrit verse that is taken out. And here Avashishyat sa asmi aham indicates that Lord is the balance that exists after the dissolution of the creation. Here, basically, with every term it is spoken that before creation, during, and after creation, it is the Supreme Lord that He exists. So, when the external manifestation is withdrawn, the spiritual activities in and the rest of the Vaikunthas, they will continue unrestricted material time. Because material world there is a creation and destruction, the Vaikuntha planets they will continue. So here again some of the references to understand from different verses about Aham Evasam Evagre. And that Lord, the Supreme Lord, he explains in Bhagavad Gita. Basically, in 10th chapter, we see 10.3, 10.8. Lord Krishna, he himself says that he who knows me as unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all worlds, he only undiluted among men from all sins. And also, 8, Lord Krishna claims that I am the source of all spiritual and material world. Everything emanates from me. So these are the clarifications that we get from other verses of Bhagavad Gita. And Srila Prabhupada has given in the purport of 10.8, he mentioned many other Upanishads also, just to prove that how this Aham Evasam Evagre is there. Lord, Supreme Lord, He is the origin of everything. So Narayan Upanishad, Srila Prabhupada mentions, and he says that the son of Devaki Krishna is the Supreme Personality. Also from Maha Upanishad, Prabhupada mentions, then it is said by Narayana, Asin na Brahma, na Asanna Napo, na Agni Samau, Neme Dau, Prithvi, na Nakshatrani, na Surya. In the beginning of the creation, there is only the Supreme Personality, Narayan. And there is no Brahma, no Shiva, no water. Nothing. So again in the Maha Upanishad, it is also said that Lord Shiva was born from forehead of the Supreme Lord. So different Vedas, there is a proof that before Brahma and Shiva existed, Supreme Lord was there. So this is what actually the Supreme Lord is telling through Aham Asam Evagre in this verse. There are many other references that supports that the Supreme Lord, He is the source of everything. So again from Mahabharata and many other verses, Srila he quoted in 10.8 purport. And also in 10.20, we see that Lord, the Supreme Lord, Krishna, actually, he is the source of even the Vishnu forms. So it has been spoken here. And so in the explanation, Srila Prabhupada mentions that Krishna first informs Arjuna that he is the self or soul of the entire cosmic manifestation and hint of his plenary expansion. Before the material creation, the Supreme Lord plenary expansion accepts the Purusha incarnation, and from him every begins. So here again another confirmation that even for the Vishnu Tattvas also, the Supreme Lord is the source or origin of them. So in that verse it was spoken. Uh, and again in 2.5.22, after the incarnation of first Purush, so in fifth chapter, there are in details that how Lord Krishna is source of different Vishnu avatar. It was given in fifth chapter, 22nd verse, and how the creation then it takes place. Those aspects were spoken. So from Lord Krishna, he is the supreme, he is the origin, and from him, Karna the Krishna Vishnu or Mahavishnu, and from Mahavishnu this Mahatattva will come. Other principles of material creation they are generated and the creation takes place. So that means what the Supreme Lord is speaking, that he was existing prior to the creation, so that has been established, and even how he is source of Vishnu forms. And if we see here, so just this is just to we can remember that after that there will be some explanations that there are different lukas, which one gets dissolved and at what time. So this verse actually has been given a depiction of it. So after that, also there are other references from Bhagavad Gita. So this is from this particular verse 2.9.33. Here Srila Prabhupada gave references from Bhagavad Gita 15:18, 2.12, that how Lord Krishna is Purushottama, means he is even the source of other Purusha Akshara and Purusha Shara. Both's origin is the Supreme Lord. So here in 2.12 also, and in 2.12 Krishna again he he told that never there was time that I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, or even in future that nothing will be ceased of. So here by through all these verses we can see that the Supreme Lord, he exists in every time. Uh, and we are speaking specifically at the initial, before the creation takes place. So these are the supportive verses this speaks about. What about after creation, or while the creation is taken place? So again, what is the rule of the Supreme Lord? That also we find here from this verse. So here again it has been spoken that Lord Vishnu in terms of Virat Rup, so he sustains different planetary system. And so these are the references also we find from previous chapter 2.5.35, how he sustains the planetary system. Actually in this particular verse Krishna explains that during the and it was Lord Brahma's question also, that if Supreme Lord is transcendental, then how he takes material form. And here we get a clear-cut idea that in terms of Virat Rup, actually, which is the material form, and he sustains the universe. So once it is created, including every planetary system. So here we again see, again it was in previous chapter 2.5.39, that how Lord Vishnu's different body parts will sustain different planetary systems. So that was explained in previous verse. So just to for a reference, here Krishna is speaking that during the creation, once the creation takes place, then also he sustains. So but this was Brahma's inquiry also. This is the material form through which he is sustaining once the creation takes place. And the other, so just a minute, I think maybe one slide I have missed. Okay, but after creation also, after creation, after destruction also, the Supreme Lord he exists, and we see that there are partial dissolution and the full dissolution of the material world. So even that time, so in terms of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu and Mahavishnu, Supreme Lord exists, and so that we have seen. So the last part, Prabhuji, I think one or two slides actually somehow I missed it. But here the again another part that was there. So three parts were there basically. First, how and where Lord Supreme Lord spoke this transcendental knowledge to Lord Brahma. It was there. Second, how he has given the answer to Lord Brahma's question, that how both transcendental and material form is there of the Supreme Lord. And third, we could get some ideas about the Sambandh Gyan that you have spoken, Prabhuji. So from here we see actually how this Sambandh Gyan is also related from this verse. Prabhupada mentions one verse here, Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. So that creator and the created I are both accepted in the Vedas as qualitative, one because both of them are Nittas and Chetananas. But the singular I is the creator I, and the created eyes are the plural number because there are many eyes, like Brahmas and others. So here we get an idea that how actually we have sambandh with Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna is the creator, and we all are the created. And Srila Prabhupada again gives some example, father-son and grandson relationship here. So, like the Supreme from Supreme Lord, we all are created. So, but father and grandson relationship, if we see that although the grandson comes from father's son, but they are not same actually. Maybe they are humans, so qualitative terms they are same, but they are not the same individual. So here this is what actually was emphasized, that we are dependent on the Supreme Lord. We have dependency on the Supreme Lord. So this is how this sambandh is there, how we are related to the Supreme Lord. And some other explanations Srila Prabhupada gives here to establish the sambandh. One is predominator and predominated, and creator and created. So this explanation Srila Prabhupada gives in the part of this particular verse. So Supreme Lord is the predominator and all others are predominated. And more specifically spoke about Lord Brahma, that he is also predominated. And so, so we all are excited, we have a sambandh with the Supreme Lord. And also, in this particular verse, actually, two other important aspects were spoken. One is that during liberation, when once liberated, for them there is no birth and death. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned from Skanda Puran that even the devotees of the personality of Godhead are not annihilated during the period of the entire annihilation of the material world. But those who are conditioned souls, so they goes through this partial dissolution and full dissolution, this bhutva pralyate, this creation and destruction is there. So here the sambandh is that we are the eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. We are created, we are predominated. Supreme Lord is the creator and predominator. So when we render service to the Supreme Lord, we becomes liberated. In that case, we do not need to go through the cycle of birth and death, but to remain in this material world, then we have to go through partial and maybe other destruction process. So birth and death cycle, it remains. So Srila Prabhupada again spoke that what is need and how we can re-establish our Sambandh Gyan with the Supreme Lord then. And from this purport, Srila Prabhupada spoke that Aham ever never indicates anything other than Supreme Lord, and one should therefore follow the path of Brahma Sampradaya, or the path from Brahmaji to Narad to Vyasdev, etc., and make it a point in life to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari or Lord Krishna. So this very confidential instruction to the pure devotees of the Lord was also given to Arjuna and Brahma in the beginning of the creation. So speaking the Sambandh Gyan, how we can re-establish this Sambandh Gyan, Srila Prabhupada has also given mentioned in this purport. And some of the messages in very short from this explanation. So we saw that Krishna gave answer to Lord Brahma's questions about his spiritual and material form. So before creation, Lord existed in spiritual world, in spiritual form. During creation, how he is sustaining, as Virat Rup was spoken, and also that means that material world is temporary and spiritual world is permanent. Another understanding from this particular verse was that spiritual world or Vaikuntha planets there is no destruction, and but the material world there is destruction. And Lord Krishna is beyond Sat and Asat both. And according to Srila Jiva Goswami, this verse from this verse we get an idea that Supreme Lord has his personal form. So this was discussed while in the discussion, Prabhuji. I think these are the some of the aspects, Prabhuji, I could just uh, make it out. One or two slides I somehow missed, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Indeed, lot of hard work and very relevant. I mean, you covered almost everything. You did not leave anything. Whatever references, whatever verses, whatever purports, whatever analogies, whatever examples were given, you almost included everything. Thank you so much for putting in such inspired effort, very quality effort. Okay, so this is very important. See, what is most important, you see, if you see the verses in Bhagavad Gita, series of verses where Krishna is speaking in the 9th and the 10th chapter, as I have already spoken so many times, that the essence of the Bhagavad Gita is in the middle 6 chapters. And the essence of the middle 6 chapter is the 9th and the 10th chapter. And we see from 9th and the 10th chapter, Krishna is speaking this again and again, that those people who are bewildered in this material world, those who are again and again into this cycle of repeated birth and death, what is the cause? That they do not have understanding of who Krishna is. And this understanding, this realization, this jnanam is there in the heart of Brahmaji. We see this is Krishna says, Avajananti Mamudha. In the 9th chapter, Krishna spoke. He spoke that Avajananti Mamudha Manushim Tanu Mashuta Param Bhavam Ajananto. So what is that Param? Here in this verse it is clear. Na Anyat Sat Asat Param. Okay? That the Supreme Lord is beyond the cause and effect. Actually, He is the cause. And what is the effect? The effect is this material creation. But He is beyond both the cause and effect. He is Param. So that bhava, that quality of the Lord is not known to people. Param bhavam ajananto. Mama bhutam maheshwaram. He is the Maheshwara. He is the Isha of Mahesha also, of all the demigods. Then in the 10th chapter, Krishna says, Name vidu surgana prabhamam nam maharshaya aham adir hi devanam maharshi nam cha sarvasha. We discussed that recently in our IARA classes, that how the Supreme Lord is the source and what are His opulences. These intricacies or these understandings is very, very rare. It is even rare among the topmost of demigods like Shiva and Brahma. But of course, we see here that Brahmaji is already being blessed. So what we have to do, I am very happy you gave this very important aspect. What we have to do, we have to just follow Brahmaji. To be able to receive this knowledge and realization that how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and how is the source of everyone and everything by coming in the footsteps. So what we have to do, we have to just hear. Just hear Krishna Katha. Pibanti ye bhagavata atmana satam kathamritam shavaneshu puteshu samritam. So if one is doing that, then what will be the result? One will be liberated. And what is actually liberation here? It is being mentioned that liberation is that one will become an eternal associate of the Lord and remain in the spiritual world. Tatte nukampam susumikshamano bhunjanevan kritam vipakam ritavagvapubhi vidhadam namaste jivete yo mukti pade sadaya bhag. So this one very important aspect of our devotional practice is, if we take it very sincerely, is to hear Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, same, from the Supreme Lord, about Him, So here he is revealing how Brahmaji comes to know that his transcendental position of the Supreme Lord, how is the source of everything, because the Lord himself is revealing. And what we have to do? We have to accept. And in what way we have to accept? Without argumentation and refutation. There should not be any argumentation in this. Brahmaji is not arguing or resisting or refuting when the Supreme Lord is disclosing. So if one is able to do that, then asamurha samarteshu, one will become asamurha. One will not be bewildered. One will not be bewildered by the illusionary energy. Why? Because he is under the protection of the spiritual energy. Sarva pape pramuchyate. So very important is this is very inconceivable actually. For the conditioned soul to be able to understand that Krishna is the source of everyone and everything is almost inconceivable. Inconceivable. Because again and again his mind and intelligence will equate him to his level of understanding and his level of existence, that the living entity comes into being, he stays for some time, he gives some byproduct, and then he starts to dwindle and finally dies. But to have the understanding which is beyond this, it requires transcendental knowledge or transcendental intelligence. And how the transcendental intelligence comes? When one is hearing in parampara. So actually one devotee was explaining very nicely that what we have to do, we have to just follow Brahma, just hear. And by hearing, what will be the effect? You become associate of the Supreme Lord and remain in the spiritual world. Then this na anyat sad asad param, na anyat yat sad asad param. One also becomes, because Krishna is revealing here that even when this material creation is not there, or even after the annihilation, I stay in my spiritual abode with my associates performing my Nitya Leela. So this should give inspiration, aspiration to all of us that we also should join that club of Krishna where he is performing his Nitya Leela. And we should not be a part of this Martya Leela of Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. Okay? Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here. You can also contribute. This is very important. That is why again and again Krishna is emphasizing that people do not know me as I am. So how to know him as he is? Hear from him. Just simply hear from him and accept and apply the process given in the parampara system. Hare Krishna. But it will require some tapasya. What is the tapasya? Is to go beyond one's mental conception or one's mental level and to connect, to accept, and then to apply. Like Brahmaji did. That's what Prabhupada is saying. You showed that slide, na? Show that last slide. So we have to follow in the parampara of Brahmaji. Prabhupada is precisely mentioning this point in the purport, in the end of the purport. Can you show that slide again, Manoram Prabhu? But someone can read from the purport. It is there in the purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I?
Okay, he is presented here. One should therefore follow the path of Brahma Sampradaya or the path of Brahmaji to Narad. So we are very fortunate. We are in the Brahma Sampradaya only. Brahma Madhav, Gaudiya Sampradaya. And to Vyasadev and etc. comes to Srila Prabhupada. And make it a point to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari or Lord Krishna. This very confidential instruction to the pure devotees of the Lord was also given to Arjuna and to Brahma in the beginning of the creation. One should be attached to the root of everything. And who is the root of everything? That is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Rather than be bewildered by the branches and leaves, that is the instruction given in this verse. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Manoram, from bringing out this very precise and most important aspect of this verse and understanding to accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is revealing. Not everyone will be able to do that. It requires purification. To the extent one has purified his heart, to that extent he will accept this principle. Otherwise, the influence of the illusionary energy will not allow. Again, the speculation and the doubts and one's own perception will create impediments. So what we have to do? We have to discard that. We have to overcome these obstacles which are there in our heart and in our head and follow what Brahmaji is doing. If Brahmaji, who is the most intelligent person, can accept, what is the difficulty with us? Huh? The problem is, our mind keeps telling us, Brahmaji may accept, but I am even better than Brahma. So how can I accept? I have to challenge. I have to find some other way. Hare Krishna. Contribute. We have a couple of minutes. It is 9:26. Speak whatever is the understanding or realization, to whatever extent. So many times we have discussed, Prabhupada says, to the extent we are becoming Krishna conscious, to that extent we'll be able to perform devotional service. So this is the summit of Krishna consciousness, which is being presented here in this part of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Pranab Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I have a query, Prabhuji, actually. You said that Manoram Prabhuji also explained in this presentation that material creation is the effect, Prabhuji, the Sat. So we know that Sat is which is eternal.
Asat.
It is Sat, no? Okay.
Asat. How can it be Sat? It is Asat. Material creation is Asat. No, Asat means which has existence, has temporary existence, then it has annihilation. That is what is Asat.
Yes.
Sat means which has no creation and no annihilation. It is eternal. So, if you understand from the Sambandha Gyan point of view, our relationship with this material world, in this material world are all asat. It has a beginning and it has a annihilation. But our relationship with the Supreme Lord, it is eternal. So this is Jnanam, which is revealed in this verse. Hare Krishna. Is it clear? Okay. Anyone else? Last remarks? बोलो क्या हुआ? कुछ नहीं, कोई इंस्पिरेशन नहीं मिला क्या इस वर्ड से? How it helps us to practice our Krishna consciousness? हाँ बोलिए दयाशील प्रभु.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It was a very nice presentation. And what inspired me, Prabhuji, that Pranam Prabhu told that when there is creation, so Lord Krishna, in the form, in his incarnation, I mean, Lord Vishnu, he sustained the planetary system, Prabhuji. That was so much inspiring. Like how during the creation, how the Lord helps, I mean, for maintenance. That was so much inspiring, Prabhuji, because he sustained all the planetary system. He mentioned very nicely. Thank you, Prabhuji.
That we have discussed in detail in the 15th chapter. Gama Vishya cha Bhutani Dharyami Aham Ojasa. Krishna says that I enter into the orbit of each planet. That is why he is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And Dharyami Aham Ojasa. We discussed that long back. The 15th chapter is speaking about it. No, this verse is not giving much emphasis on that. This verse is giving emphasis how we should go beyond Asat and come to the platform of Sat, of reviving our eternal relationship. Okay. Yes, Ramya, you want to say? Boliye.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this verse is the this verse gives us the sambandha gyan between us and Supreme Lord. Like from the beginning of this verse, Aham eva sam evagre. The Lord is explaining how He is existing before this creation, and there is nothing before Him. And Nanyad yat sat asat param. He is beyond the material creation. Like everything is emanated from Him only. All the Mahatattva, Mahavishnu, everyone is emanating from Him. And He is before the creation, He is at the time of creation, and Paschat Aham Jat Etat cha. And in the creation also, He is there in the form of super soul. He is also there. And Jo Avishishya to Asmiham, and after annihilation also, He is there. So Supreme Lord is every every time he is here, we are knowing the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. And Srila Prabhupada in his purport, actually first Prabhupada spoke about the theory of I. He actually how he actually refute the opinion of impersonalist, that the impersonalist says that Lord is unmanifested and inactive, but Lord is always manifested and active form. Lord is a person. Uh, and Here the impersonalist think that both the I, that is the creator I and the created I, all are equal. But that is not actually true. There is a big difference between the created I and creator I. That Bhagwan and Brahma are different. Lord is the creator of creator Brahma. And in this regarding this theory, Srila Prabhupada gave the verse Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Jo Vidadhati Kaman. So our relationship with the Supreme Lord is permanent. And जो नित्यो नित्यानम, इसके बारे में फिर पर्पट में लिखा गया है कि देयर इज ए लाइक ये वाला लाइन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा था प्रभु जी, दैट like there is a difference between predominator I and predominated I. So the Supreme Lord is the predominator I, and there are predominated I's. There is a plural in I's. So here the predominator I is the feeder of predominated I's, and thus there is a vast difference between the two principles of I. और एक जो पॉइंट मुझे, जैसे कि मोनराम प्रभु जी ने तो बहुत अच्छे से सब कुछ बताया था, और एक जो मुझे आपने आपने लास्ट क्लास में बोला था प्रभु जी, ये जो वर्स है ना चैवन्ते पियत भक्त, जैसे कि यहाँ इस वर्ष में हम जान पा रहे हैं कि हाउ द सुप्रीम लॉर्ड हिज एबोर्ड एंड हिज डिवोटीज आर आल्सो इटर्नल लाइट। जैसे कि ध्रुव महाराज के जो प्लैनेट है वो भी डिजोल्यूशन के टाइम डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं होता, तो सुप्रीम लॉर्ड इज वेरी प्रोटेक्टिव टू हिज डिवोटीज। तो अगर हम भगवान के भक्त बन जाते हैं तो देयर इज नो नीड टू थिंक अबाउट एनीथिंग।
यस, दिस इज मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग। थैंक यू, बहुत अच्छा रम्या, बहुत बढ़िया आपने दोबारा इसको पूरा समराइज किया। थैंक यू, वेरी गुड अंडरस्टैंडिंग। So this is what we have to do. We have to make it angam. What we have to make angam? This sadhana bhakti, shravanam, kirtanam, and then this is abhiday. So jnanam is sambandha, that we have understood the sambandha with the Supreme Lord is eternal. And what is the abhiday? To realize it, how the realization will come when we perform sadhana bhakti. And what will be the result? That is how we will achieve the goal, Priyojan, which is Rahasyam, Prema Bhakti, when we apply this principle in life. Then we will have Vijnanam, Sa Rahasyam. One can come to the level of Prema Bhakti, where the Supreme Lord. And another aspect which you did not say, that the Supreme Lord is, as you said, he is not inactive. So before this creation, he was not, alone, and he had nothing to do. He was there in his spiritual world with his spiritual associates and performing his eternal pastimes. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all very much. So from tomorrow is Friday, we'll go to the next verse. We'll try and understand the 34th verse. लेकिन लिखिए आप लोग, लिखिए, नहीं तो चूक जाएंगे। हमको लगता है हमने सुन लिया, हमको हाँ हाँ सब पता है, लेकिन कितना पता है वो हम अच्छी तरह जानते हैं। कुछ पता नहीं है। जरा से भी संसारिक सिचुएशन ऊपर नीचे होती है, हम तुरंत फंस जाते हैं और सब भूल जाते हैं। तो लिखने का प्रयास करिए, लिखिए, इस अंडरस्टैंडिंग को डीपर बनाइए, क्लियरर बनाइए, और जो सोल्यूशन है उसके ऊपर वर्क करिए। गीता में सब ठंडे पड़ गए, किसी का कुछ आवाज आवाज आ नहीं रहा है। क्यों भाई दयाशील, आपने सब जो गीता ली वो सब बांट बूट दी, वो सब डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दी, सबके पास पहुंचा दी? मैं आऊंगा सैटरडे, भाई आधे लोगों पे भी नहीं पहुंची है मुझे लग रहा है। आई एम आस्किंग यू दयाशील प्रभु।
प्रभु जी ले लिए प्रभु जी, कुछ कुछ लोग तो ले ही नहीं रहे हो, मतलब
कौन लोग नहीं ले रहे हैं, उनका नाम मुझे लिख के दो ना, जिन्होंने मुझसे प्रॉमिस किया था और नहीं लिया है। अभी कलयुग में ऐसा ही है, विष सब तुरंत ले लेंगे, अमृत दो तो उलट देंगे, थूक देंगे, उल्टी कर देंगे, नहीं चाहिए। हरे कृष्णा। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी। हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा।